Mark Wahlberg's visit to Jimmy Kimmel Live was supposed to be a light-hearted promo stop for his latest film. Fans eagerly tuned in, expecting a fun back and forth between the action star and the late-night host. Wahlberg, known for his tough guy persona but playful sense of humor, entered to thunderous applause. At first, everything seemed normal. Jokes about his Boston roots, his fitness routines, and past roles set the stage. But it didn't take long before the vibe shifted. Kimmel, perhaps trying to stir controversy for ratings, began prodding Wahlberg about his past, including run-ins with the law, old interviews, and politically charged remarks. That's when the conversation turned serious. Wahlberg, clearly not amused, tried to steer things back to his movie. He mentioned his work as a producer and community advocate, but Kimmel wouldn't let up. He asked, "Do you think your past mistakes still define you?" Wahlberg responded sharply, "Only if people like you keep bringing them up." The audience laughed nervously, unsure whether it was a bit or a genuine moment of tension. Kimmel smirked and followed up with, "So, you're saying people should just forget the past?" Wahlberg leaned forward, visibly irritated. "No, I'm saying I've worked every day since to be a better man. Maybe try asking about that." The air in the studio grew heavy. Wahlberg's tone was calm but firm. Kimmel attempted to pivot, with a joke about one of Wahlberg's early 2000s movies, but the damage was done. Wahlberg, now visibly annoyed, responded, "You know, Jimmy, it's funny how people like to bring up your lowest points and call it entertainment." The audience began clapping, not for Kimmel's joke, but for Wahlberg's pushback. Kimmel raised his eyebrows and muttered, "Tough crowd tonight." Wahlberg didn't smile. Instead, he crossed his arms and said, "Maybe they just respect authenticity over punchlines." Then came the question that tipped the entire exchange over the edge. Kimmel asked, "Would you say you've truly made peace with your past, or are you just trying to rebrand?" Wahlberg blinked slowly, clenched his jaw and replied, "Wow, so this is what late night has become?" Without breaking eye contact, he removed his mic, saying, "You're not interested in a real conversation, Jimmy. You're chasing clicks." Kimmel tried to recover, saying, "Mark, come on, we're just having fun." Wahlberg stood up. "No, you're hiding mockery behind a smile. That's not fun. That's disrespect." As Wahlberg stepped away from the desk, the audience gasped. Some cheered, others looked stunned. Wahlberg, calm but clearly done with the interview, gave a respectful nod to the crowd and said, "Thanks, everyone. Watch the film if you want to see what I'm really about." With that, he walked off the set. Kimmel looked momentarily stunned, then forced a laugh, saying, "Well, I guess that's a wrap on that segment." But the energy was off, and even the band hesitated before playing him into commercial. It was clear this wasn't a stunt. Wahlberg had walked out for real. By the time the next morning rolled around, clips of the confrontation had gone viral. Hashtags like Wahlberg Walkout and Kimmel Clash trended across Twitter and TikTok. Opinion was divided. Fans of Wahlberg praised him for standing up for himself, saying he was justified in walking out of what felt like an ambush. Critics argued that celebrities need to be ready for tough questions, but what most agreed on was that the moment didn't feel scripted. Wahlberg wasn't playing a part. He was defending the life he'd worked hard to rebuild, and millions admired him for it. Insiders from the show later revealed that Kimmel's producers had advised pushing Wahlberg just a little to stir some controversy. What they got instead was a viral incident and backlash from Wahlberg's fanbase. Several celebrities, including Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Mel Gibson, posted messages of support. Others stayed quiet, perhaps wary of taking sides. Wahlberg himself issued no statement, letting his actions speak for themselves. A simple Instagram post of him training at 5 a.m., captioned "Focus, Purpose, Respect," received over 1 million likes within hours. Kimmel, for his part, returned to the next night's show with a subdued energy. He made a quick joke. Mark Wahlberg might have walked out on me, but I hear Tom Hanks still likes me. But the laughter was half-hearted. Some critics began questioning whether late-night hosts had crossed the line between entertainment and provocation. Was it fair to dig into someone's darkest moments under the guise of humor, or had Wahlberg overreacted to a tough but standard line of questioning? The debate spilled into the headlines and kept the internet talking for days. In the following weeks, Wahlberg's movie saw a boost in viewership. Some speculated the Walkout generated more buzz than a typical press tour ever could. Others believed it was a moment of real integrity, rare in Hollywood. Wahlberg was later interviewed by a podcast where he was asked about the incident. He simply said, "People don't want fake anymore. They want real stories, real growth. I've made mistakes, I've owned them, but I won't be shamed on TV for trying to move forward." His words resonated across generations, especially among fans who admired his journey. The Mark Wahlberg-Jimmy Kimmel clash is now one of the most discussed moments in late-night TV history. It reminded viewers that celebrities are human beings, not just soundbites or ratings tools. Wahlberg's refusal to be mocked or minimized marked a turning point in how stars respond to media pressure. And for Kimmel, the incident served as a wake-up call. When humor becomes hostility, even the most polished hosts can lose control of the room. In a world full of carefully staged PR appearances, Wahlberg's walk-off felt like something rare, unscripted, raw, and deeply human.